So many herbs to choose from. That's what's amazing about nature. Something of quality, a plant ally, grows every part of the world. And there's certain things like culinary herbs that we've been taught they're just culinary herbs, right? Instead of using them as medicine. Although sage, people are familiar with its antibacterial and spiritual properties. But yeah, so I want to kind of help you enhance your relationship to nature, because Kitchen Witchery begins with your relationship to nature. I'm not saying every kitchen witch has to have a garden like this, right? This is my dream, my extreme, my purpose. But all of these sacred plants have purpose. I know in spiritual communities, when they talk of sacred plants, they speak of, 1, 2, or maybe 3. But what could be more sacred than something like this that can heal your kidney, liver, blood disorders, heart problems, reproductive issues, etc. No matter where you live, you can always increase your relationship to nature. And I know that when we talk kitchen witchery or magic and things like that, people just want to get in and make spells and make magic, and there's a problem with that. There's actually a few problems with that. You're skipping the work of building the relationship with the plants, the actual medicine themselves, right? And so magic really is just intention or directed energy. But I can even go a step further, because a lot of magic is centered around using influence or power over something else, right? And I don't see that as magic. I see that as controlling. This is magic, right? Coming up in these 100-degree heat and, so the problem is when you're trying to use magic to influence or use power or control over someone or something else, that's really coming from a fear-based perspective. Thus, your desire to want to control it, right? So my approach to magic is much different. It's more of a surrender to the natural harmony of nature, our true selves, the natural balance, right? You see how nothing here is growing in rows? Because that's what humans do to try to control nature. I don't do that. I'm letting her do what she wants to do and doing my best to help, right? And when you go into magic, like gardening or other things, for example, like a lot of this tree right here, I won't see fruit for years. Yet I'm still here nurturing it every day, right? There's much of this was just little dead sticks, you know what I'm saying? Or a tiny, look, this is a tree right here. This tiny little thing. So if you're looking for instant gratification, true kitchen witchery probably isn't actually for you, because if you're not taking the time to build the relationship and learn why you're doing what you're doing, not just, oh, I want to make this person be nice, or I want to do this love spell, or you know what I'm saying, or I want to get this money, or get this job, or whatever. You're not actually thinking about everything else in its nature, right? So humans, when they garden, they pull beautiful plants like that. They call it a weed. It's medicine. This is lamb's quarters. It has way more flavor and nutrition than spinach. This right here is a baby loofah. I'm literally growing my own sponges. Okay, so, and this is not to judge or anything. It's to encourage you to do whatever you can to get in touch with nature in however you can, whether you're in a city and you have a balcony garden, or you just have your favorite park that you go to every day, right? And not all kitchen witches are herbalists, right? But when you build your relationship with nature, so whether it's through making medicine or just sitting with a plant and learning about it, because there's so much more to it than it just being pretty. Or when you get into herbalism or wild foods, you find out that you can eat it and use it for medicine. But it also has magical properties and planetary principles and things like that. So, and I just want to say nothing I ever say is intended to be medical advice. Or, you know, in fact, I really don't think anyone should start with herbs or anything like that until they consult with their doctor and find out, you know, what interactions you might have with whatever kind of therapies you may currently be under. But like gardening, you know, people give up after snow and their plant's only this big, right? And it gets 100 degrees out and they're like, well, guess what? Kitchen witchery and true magic is the same. So, in my opinion, again, I'm not speaking for anyone. I'm not speaking for any religion. I'm not speaking for anyone or anything other than my own firsthand experience. But unless you do the work and build the relationship, again, whether you have a garden like this or not, with nature, and guess what? You are nature. So being authentic in your true nature is connecting with nature, right? So think about that, because anything that you're doing in disharmony to your nature will affect you and thus affect every piece of magic you think you are performing, okay? So the first principle of magic is literally purity, pure of heart, pure. Okay, camera died, but I know I was talking something about purity. And I'm not saying that, purity doesn't mean you never smoke, you never drink, you never, go to church, or sorry, you always go to church, you never do drugs, you don't have premarital sex. It doesn't mean that. Purity means that you are whole and true to your purpose, your individual path, right? So a lot of people in magic or kitchen witchery or things like that, right? Card readers even, they'll have like another profile and another page with a fake name because they don't want to let their friends and family know that, you know, because, well, they're religious and they'll think I'm going to hell. And it's like, okay, well, that's not authentic. That's not pure. That's not gonna work, because whatever you're hiding, whatever you're shrouding there within yourself, it will be the same with your work, right? So you don't want to skip the purification part. You don't want to skip the hard work, the shadow work, the intentions, your purpose. Why do you even want to be in the world of magic? And here's the truth. You're already in the world of magic, right? It's just that most people don't even know what magic is. Magic is everything. Magic is everywhere. Magic is the fact that that sheet metal down there flew through the air and this is still standing. Okay? So, yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, look, anytime you have an intention, anytime you say words, right, use your swords, you are creating magic. And you can call the dark side or the negative black magic, right, or demons or whatever, but the truth is any negative thought in your head is technically a demon. Anything that makes you think that you're not good enough, and anything that makes you believe any excuses about why you can't live your heart's desires, right? Or anything that keeps you from moving forward in whatever that purpose is. So if you look at it that way, it's pretty simple, right? So, you know, a lot of people give up on gardening, just like magic, when things are only that tall and you start to see, oh, there's some bad weather, so it's getting a little yellow. Well, that's where you need to get into the nuts and bolts, all right? What's the soil like? What's going on beneath the surface? It's not always just some parasitic entity out there, right? Sometimes that actually comes from within, right? So this is an opportunity for growth and to learn more, not to give up or to look away and mask it with, say, couch spirituality, right? Feel good spirituality, where everybody wants to tell you, oh, it's, you know, you can be a kitchen witch and use a microwave and herbs from Walmart. Dude, if that makes you feel good, go for it. But it's not going to be the same as if you were working with its actual source, right? So, yeah, magic is literally everywhere, okay? So what we really need to work on is believing in ourself, right? Believing that what we have is already in us. Knowing that nature, that our nature is what we are and provides everything we need. I have to say this because the entitled lifestyle, like people are focused on, you know, oh, some rich person or whatever, like that's entitled. No, let me tell you what entitled is. Entitled is expecting somebody else to feed you. Entitled is expecting to not have to learn any skills to help yourself. Yeah. Entitled is expecting that that pomegranate is always going to be in the grocery store. Entitled is expecting that you can just go sugarcoat things and use other people's magic, right? Look, everything's magic. The TV is magic. Movies are magic, right? Like, how many times have you accidentally cursed somebody? Yeah, because you didn't know your magic or how to use it, or screamed too loud and broke a window or blew a transformer. Yeah, these are real things. So if you want to immerse yourself in the world of magic, and more specifically, kitchen witchery, I would like to invite you, I'd like to encourage you to get outside, enjoy what you are. It's no coincidence that every element in the earth is also found in our bodies in the exact same percentages. Okay, so you can't look at it like, I mean, you can, but it's not going to do well, right? Like instant gratification. Like if you can't wait for 3 or 4 months to see a red tomato or a green pepper, or be able to, or plant a tree and not see the fruit for 5 years, then magic, kitchen witchery, things like that probably are not for you. On the other hand, the more you apply yourself to learning nature and her ways, the more magic she shares with you. And this is something that can only be experienced. It's not something that I can tell you or explain to you, or anyone can, or read in a book. Yeah, you can hear other people's experiences and hopefully be inspired, or say, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me, I'm going to pass, or whatever, right? True nature is you. Yeah, I'm showing you nature, my garden here. Again, I'm not saying this is what you need, right, to be magical. That's actually, you're already magical, right? But if you want to step up your kitchen witchery a notch or so, you might want to consider spending a little time outdoors and getting in touch with your true self and all that's around you. If you don't know your purpose, this is your invitation to find it. Don't stop till you do. And you know how easy it is really to figure it out? What makes you feel good? And I'm not talking feel good like instant gratification, right? That's the opposite of feel good. That's when you're felt, left thinking, oh crap, I didn't plan well, did I? Yeah, that was a really good, weekend, but I kind of have this bill or whatever to take care of. So I have a bunch of herbs hanging right now. In fact, here, I was actually going to just pull these off. This is a beautiful vervain, also known as the holy herb. Picked a bunch of garlic and mint, hang the garlic to keep the vampires away, hang the mint to keep the flies away. And then be nice to cats and chickens. All right, so kitchen witchery. Here's my new apothecary. By the way, I'm not completely done, but almost. Do you have to have this to be a kitchen witch? Absolutely not. I'm gonna see if I can just put this right here on the dehydrator and sit down and have a chat. Hey, that works. Cool, my first video in here, yay. I want to encourage you, so if magic is your intention, that means everything you do is already magic, right? So what are you thinking about when you're doing it? And again, what's your intention? And are you just, say, mindlessly burning sage because you saw someone talk about it on the internet, but you're not, say, sweeping under the rug or cleaning out the corners and the closets, right? If everything is energy, there's energy in everything. And critters, demons, things like that like to hide in places like that. And I'm sure you've heard the as within, so without, right? Right? So if you're leaving messes in your kitchen, say, or anywhere in your house and expecting to do a purification ritual, what is it tainted with? Okay, so yeah. So another thing that people think when they want to get into kitchen magic or kitchen witchery or things like that, that you have to have a whole bunch of herbs and such. And that's actually not true. The truth is, you should focus on what's available to you, right? And I know I use a lot of exotic stuff from all over the world, and I'm not naive enough to think that it's always going to be available, which is why I'm trying to build other ways to get the same properties and find comparable sacred plants and medicines and such. But the more you know, the deeper relationship you have. Let's say you only know 3 herbs. Hi, Pekate. What does that mean? So you can spend a year learning 3, or you can spend a year scratching the surface of 300. What are you going to know better, right? The ones you spend the time with, and not just book time or internet time, but actual applied time. Again, doesn't matter what I or anyone tells you, or any book says, or any spell you or whatever. Yet, what up, Pekate? You want to say hi? So this is my magic helper. She hasn't left my side in weeks. What up? Kiss. I totally forgot what I was saying when she came in here. Anyways, about herbs. Like, what do you think you're gonna know? Who's gonna have more information? The one that spends the time and the applied, actual experience, hands-on with 3 herbs, or somebody who reads about 300 in that same time? So don't push yourself, just be gentle with yourself. Go at your own pace. Don't think that you have to do things other people's way, right? And, you know, getting back to purification, you know, you don't have to go to an ashram. You don't have to take vows or repeat mantras or any of these things that anyone else told you you have to do, okay? Because it's in you and your true nature. It's already there, right? It's already there. I know a lot of you think that, well, I'm a city girl or guy, so I could never do that. Well, I was a city girl, suburbs. I did not know nature. I didn't even really like nature. I hated going on road trips and sitting in the back of the car and having to stare at sunflowers and mountains and boring, right? I wanted the excitement and, you know, I remember those years. So, of course, once I got a little bit of nature, I'm like, okay, I can't get enough. And life keeps us awake, keeps us fearing it, right? The sun, the weather, radiation, acid rain, you know, all of that. I get it. And it's too cold and it's too hot and it's more comfortable inside. But the whole point of Kitchen Witchery, right, with household magic is to bring the magic of nature, of those sacred plants, into your home, right? That's, you know, the basics of a magical household. And it starts in the kitchen because everything that affects everyone in the household is affected by what comes out of the kitchen, right? So you're in a house and I could keep people out of my apothecary, right? Or my bedroom, or, you know, everybody has their sacred space, right? But the kitchen is something that nourishes everyone. So how are you nourishing yourself and those who share your roof, right? Are you giving it your all? Are you putting your magic into it? Are you just brushing things under the rug? Or are you actually dealing with it and thus turning everything that you do into magic without even having to think about it? Look, you don't have to cast spells. Okay, that's secret of magic. Like, everything is already a ritual. So whatever it is you're doing, is that ritual healthy for you? So the way you brush your teeth, right? Or get up in the morning, or go to bed, or whatever it is you do. Is it good for you? Does it lift your spirits? I love you so much. Right? I have so much to say about this, and I have a feeling this will be the beginning of, you know, a bunch of videos on the topic, and some I'll share recipes and techniques and things, but I really want to just jog your brain and hopefully spark something inside you to give you the confidence that you need to know that you already have it in you. You don't have to be me. You don't have to have my garden. You don't have to have my apothecary. I am, what year are we in? 2021. So this is 14 years after my commitment to nature. And before that, I wasn't a fast food junkie. Okay, so I was following what I thought was the ideal of health, a nutrition major and exercise science and stuff. So I was doing my best, but yeah, 14 years ago, I guess, was when I gave my life to nature. Okay, so this is a culmination of everything. So don't compare yourself to me or anyone, right? Like, oh, well, I can't, you know, it's not like that. Everybody has their own special talent. Don't try to be anybody else and waste time like being jealous of their talents or gifts or what. That's so ridiculous, and that's the actual opposite of real magic, because again, real magic comes from purity and intention, and when it's tainted by those dis-ease giving feelings, demons, whatever you want to call them, then everything is tainted, right? So number one, really focus on purification, not just what herb you need to take for this or that, but most likely what you don't need to take in your brain, or, right, or through your ears, or through your eyes, right? So you can argue, okay, well, video games, that's just entertainment, mindless entertainment. No, it's actually mind control. And if that's your idea of entertainment, then you're not a dedicated student to the craft, right? So don't compare yourself. Discover and develop your own unique talent based on what you love and what you're drawn to, okay? And start with the herbs, the sacred plants, okay? It's not just ayahuasca, mushrooms, or weed, okay? I mean, you can talk henbane or mandrake. What about dandelion? You don't think that's sacred? Basil. You know what I'm saying? So don't ignore the things that you grew up with on a pizza thinking that they're just things that taste good. Yeah, lots of herbs taste good. But guess what? Lots of herbs don't taste good. I can point out a few right there, right now. They are medicine. They are their own spirits. They are their own souls. They are their own magic. Respect that. That's why people chasing a high, right, that want to use, like, say, a datura plant after a night of drinking or something, and then they almost kill themselves or go blind or whatever. Like, you have to respect Mother Nature, and it's not just always about chasing a high. What up, Mercury? Mercury wants to say hi. She's coming out of retrograde. Man, it's been a crazy season. Not bad, just crazy. Hard work. Lots of unexpected things, people visit, all sorts of stuff. But, yeah. So, and you know what this actually reminds me? Why do all my animals get along? Or why do animals in the wild come up to me? Purity, authenticity. It's not because I practice a special diet or a special religion. It's because I'm authentic and true to myself, so they don't have to fear me. If they don't have to fear me, they don't have to fear each other, right? It's when people say, oh, chickens and cats will never get along, or cats and dogs will never get along, or whatever. And then they create that, and then they want to kill each other, and they keep them locked up, separated, and never realize. Like, remember when my raccoons, cats, dogs used to all eat from the same bowl with birds flying around? All of this is possible in the real world of magic, but it does not come without purity. Period. Okay? All right. I hope I said what I needed to say. Thanks for being here.